Hey everyone, welcome back to RPG America. Been a minute since I posted. My name is Andrew, and today I'm going to be talking about my home defense setup. This is probably going to be a pretty short video, sub 10 minutes, I believe. So without wasting your time with an intro, let's go ahead and just hop right into what I am running for my home defense, bedside gun, rapid response, whatever you want to call it. Don't really care what you call it. So, this is, those of you that know your weapons will know immediately, bunch of PSA stuff, right? PSA upper, PSA lower. But with that said, the actual internals are not mostly PSA parts. It's mostly stuff that I just scrounged around for and just replaced it with stuff that was a little bit higher quality. I'm not even going to attempt to try and remember everything, but I will do my best right now. Let's just go ahead and start by saying that this is a pistol legally, hence the brace on there. So, yeah, it is a SB A4 Tactical by SB Tactical, whatever they call it. So I like this one because it just has the most body to it, so I can get a really good, solid shoulder mount, or whatever the terminology is for it. You're gonna notice I don't know a lot of the terminology for this stuff. I just know that I like stuff that is rugged and I can really get good, just a good setup for whenever I'm using the weapon at the range. So that's the first thing, and yes, I do just have the Magpul QDs for the sling. Of course, this Onward Research sling that I have thrown on here right now. Next, this grip is not what came with the lower. A lot of this stuff is not lower, but this is a B5 Systems grip. I really like this one. I may actually like it more than the Magpuls that I spoke high praises of, because the texturing on this grip is very similar to my Sig Sauer pistols, and my Sig Sauer pistols have my favorite grips of all time. So that is why I love these so much. Really well textured, and it's textured in the right spots as well. So the downside to it is, the one thing I wish I had textured more is on the back side of the pistol grip. That would be a lot better if it did have that, just to where you can get even more locked in on the grip while you're using it at the range, but it does not have that, so I make do with what I have. It works really well. The trigger is a CMC single stage trigger. I believe it's a 2.5 pound break, and of course, open chamber for everyone to see. There are no bullets in there at all, of course. Let me get my sling out of the way. So if you just give this a quick listen, very, very, very little travel to that trigger. Here's the set, and that's the break. It's just instant, and that is on purpose, because again, this is a home defense weapon. I want to be able to get a bunch of rounds going at whatever I have to shoot at. If I have to use this in the moment, I don't want to be struggling to pull the trigger at all with something like this. Next thing that we have, go ahead and talk about, this is just a Romeo 5 original by Sig Sauer. It does have the motion activation for the red dot, so the red dot is, I probably won't be able to line this up very well, but I will try. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to try line it up, but I can tell you right now, it is on. It is ready to go. And I don't have it set to a very high brightness setting, because this is meant to be for low light conditions. It is not meant to be for, it can be daytime use, of course. It's not night vision setup. But the red dot would work if I had it turned all the way down to the lowest setting for the brightness. Then it would be very good for a night vision setup. But notice, those with keen eyes, or just eyes in general, that I also have this Streamlight big ol' ProTac 2.0 rail mount flashlight. That's a mouthful and a half of a name. The reason I like this light so much, it gets really bright. And it's not a focused beam to where the beam is only like that big. It's more so, it's like a wall of light. So again, if we look over in this corner, we have, pull it down some. So that's just the lower setting, but then if I double tap, really bright, and everything's nice and lit up. You're not gonna miss that. So yeah, super duper useful. And I have used it for just like practicing at nighttime, and it's effective at getting stuff lit up that you can't see. Okay, The rail is a Midwest Gunworks, I believe is the name of the company. The one that's made to house a suppressor inside of the rail. Again, that is, of course, all-purpose driven, right? So this one is, I believe, a 10-inch rail. The barrel of this upper, it is a PSA barrel, but it's a really good barrel because it is I managed to somehow get this thing to be just within an MOA. I don't know how. Don't ask me to replicate it, but I did that day. And it has not been off ever since I got it sighted in at that. So nothing is getting changed on this as far as that goes, because it's exactly how I want it to be. But anyhow, it doesn't have to be that accurate because it's meant to be an indoor low light weapon. But yeah, the reason I have this rail being 10 inches is because I want it to cover up the suppressor over here, which we'll talk about in a second. And I also have a 7-inch barrel. You're probably thinking you should have had an 8-inch barrel, and I'm going to tell you something right now. I agree with you, because now the problem that I run into is that the weapon is a little bit under-gassed, which sounds odd, right? But I have the gas block wide open, one of those Aero Precision gas blocks, the adjustable ones. I have it wide open. It's still under-gassed, even with subsonic, or with lower grain subsonic ammo, and we'll talk about my ammo choice shortly and why I chose that. Other little miscellaneous things before we get to the suppressor. The dust cover is just a Magpul polymer one that I threw on there. I don't like it because, as you can see, I pulled on it a little bit and it came down. So what I do most of the time if I'm actually out running this, I actually leave that already open, because I don't want to be walking around, something bumps it, which right now it's okay, right? Because I managed to get it just right, but then if something bumps into it, that's all it takes for the dust cover to open. And I read online it's because PSA uppers just don't house these very well. So sometime in the future I might change that out, but it's not a make or break thing right now. And again, it's mainly home defense, so more than likely I will be having this already open and not even thinking about closing it back up. Cloud defense mount with the Streamlight tape switch or whatever for the light. Have that all nice and neat and easy to get to. Let's see, what else? Strike Industries extended charging handle latch, because that makes life much easier for that. And rail wrap. Highly recommend these if you're going to run a suppressor or even just a rail where the rail is going to be over past the muzzle of the barrel or whatever muzzle device you have. Really helps to keep your hand from getting too burned. Your thumb's still going to get messed up, but better than your whole hand, that's for sure. Alright, now the part that everyone's been waiting for. This is a Aero Precision Lahar 30K suppressor. I am not bothering with taking off this handguard for right now, because that's a pain in the rear. I don't have it Loctited. That's on purpose because I do have to sometimes be able to get to the suppressor to clean it. But I haven't cleaned it in a while. I probably should clean it, actually. But yeah, that's the story there for why I leave it like that. And you're probably also wondering, why do you have this? Why not just have a 7-inch rail and not worry about covering the suppressor? I wanted to be able to have, when I'm running this, and I run all my guns, the whatever device back here I use, buttstock or brace, is always all the way back, because that is how I prefer to run my stuff. Because for me, this is more comfortable. And if I can get a really good hold on there, really be able to shoot really effectively, stay on target much better. Again, that's just what has worked for me. Will that change in the future? Maybe if I go get training, they'll say do this instead. But right now, that's what's worked best for me. I think that is everything about the pin itself. Again, mainly PSA. Nickel boron bolt carrier. This one is a Toolcraft. Spent $100 on it. $100 well spent, because I haven't had to lubricate it in forever, and I can just by touching that, I can feel there's still oil on there. It's probably been, since I've been working a bunch, it's been a couple of months since I've like taken this thing out for a full-on day. Okay, so that's everything about the weapon. Let's go to now ammo and my plate carrier. Okay, this is the least fun part of the video, because this thing not super light, because these are steel plates that are in this Spartan Armor Systems plate carrier. It's just a super basic one, whatever they had that was actually free with the armor was what I got. It's all shooter's cut, not swimmers. If I go back and do this again, I probably would get swimmer's cut, but it's not a make or break type of thing. So we'll go ahead, and since I have this turned to the back side already, you'll notice that the back side of this plate carrier is completely slick. There is nothing on the actual back of this. Probably thinking there's got to be a reason. There is, because the way that I have this set up, I don't want to have to reach around to have to get to something. If I need anything, especially if something life-threatening happens, I don't want to have to reach back there to get something. Which is why I have two medical setups on this. So the farther back one is for if someone else is with me. This one that is back here, they can grab that one to use. It's got everything they need to do the basic stuff. Then the little pouch that is farther forward, this one is for me to use. And yes, there are side plates as well. Radio, super basic, just the Baofeng UV5R set up to the basic frequencies for what I use with me and my buddies. Tourniquet with the radio, because the pouch was big enough to fit both, so I didn't have to have another pouch, that tourniquet. But with that said, I do have a dedicated tourniquet pouch with a chest seal pouch right next to it over on this side, and my microphone is right in the way. So that's where that stuff is at. So again, 2 tourniquets. I would have 4 if I could, but 2 is what I have for right now. Also have a antenna that lets the radio hear and or send and receive a lot farther. 3 magazines. For the first part of the gun, it is a Magpul setup with a dual mag holder, so you have 60 rounds ready to go instead of just 30. And then I also have a what I call a pocket mag, to where I'm going to throw that in the pocket of my pants or whatever I'm wearing at the time, so that I have that just ready to go before I have to get to my ammunition that's on the plate carrier. Now that I've talked your ears off with this plate carrier, speaking of the plates though, before I forget, they are level 3 plus, so they will stop up to, I believe, 30-06. The armor penetrating rounds, I believe. I could be wrong, but it will stop at 30-06. I'll be out of the fight if I get hit by something like that. Hopefully not internally bleeding or having too many broken ribs, depending on where I get hit. But yeah, it'll at least keep you from getting a hole in you. So that's the idea. And I figured I was going to have to get steel armor anyways, because ceramic just doesn't have enough of a shelf life to where I can trust it. So I figure might as well get something that's pretty close to level 4, but I mean, if I get hit by 50 cal, I'm probably dead. Or wishing I was. One of the two. Okay. Now, what I'd like to say, these are the ammunition that I run for this 300 Blackout gun with a really short barrel, but it runs a-okay. These are the Eternity 190 grain Sub-X hollow points, and of course I can't get this to... What do I do in front of my hat? Yes, no, maybe so. That's the bullet. You can go and look it up. If I'm feeling nice, I'll throw a picture of it up there, but this is the bullet. It is really good at expanding. We were shooting these into the ground a couple of weeks ago, actually, so I've shot this not too long ago, but we're shooting this into the ground, and the hole, instead of just being as wide as the bullet, the hole ended up being like 3 times the size. So it works really well at expanding, that is for sure. And again, it's subsonic, so the idea is not for it to have too much penetration through a target, because you don't want to be hitting your neighbors or a family member or your dog, because we're not the ATF, okay? Or FBI or any of those other people that somehow managed to always get someone hurt that they said was their fault, not theirs. Okay, so I think that is everything about the gun and the plate carrier. The other thing, I don't have this in the kit right now, but I should. I try to always have extra batteries for everything, so I don't have an extra battery for the red dot, but I change it out I'm a psychopath with this. It's probably overkill, maybe it's not, but I change it out every 6 months. So I change it out when I change it out either June or July, and then December or January, depending on when I changed it last. And I make a note in my phone. And what I did for this last time I changed my batteries was I set up a 6-month reminder every 6 months in my calendar app. So look at that, technology is useful. So that is just what I personally prefer to do. And I run a lot of stuff that has batteries. Sometimes they run and they just are gone in a couple of hours. But some stuff like that, theoretically, that battery will last plenty of time. Really wouldn't actually have to change it that often if I didn't want to. But I do anyways, because I like to make sure everything is going to be working. Because the last thing you want is to, 5 months from now, or let's say 9 months from now, I didn't change the batteries, and then that just happened to be the battery life dead when I actually need it. So yeah, always be keeping an eye on stuff like that can run out. And this is obviously not similar to any of the other stuff that we've talked about. This is strictly meant for one of two purposes: is either home defense, or I need to go and help somebody else in a situation where this could arise. And then the third reason is, it's cool stuff. I want to have it. Duh. So that is everything with the rapid response kit that I have. I guess that's what I'll call this video, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But essentially, it's the grabbing this if I have to use it when I get woke up at 3 a.m. by somebody that doesn't have a search warrant, or somebody that wants my stuff and can't have it. So yeah, simple as that. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. I'm finally going to start saying that at the end of videos, I guess. Because I'm going to be trying, now that things are winding down for me a little bit, I'm going to try to post a new video at least every 2, maybe 3 weeks, now that the school year is coming to an end. For those who don't know, I'm a teacher. But anyhow, yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.